Hello, and welcome to this webinar on the benefits of ACS membership. My name is Brian Frankel, and I am the manager for international chapters at the American College of Surgeons. During the webinar, if anyone has any questions, please submit those through the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen, and we'll collect those as they come in. We'll do our best to address all the questions that come in. If we don't have time during the webinar, we'll definitely address those for you after work finished. I would now like to quickly introduce the panelists for our webinar. Corey Petty is the Senior Manager of Membership in the ACS Division of Member Services, and she'll talk about the different membership levels and their benefits. Karen Freeman, who's the Manager of Domestic and International Credentialing, will talk about the fellowship application process and highlight benefits of being an ACS Fellow. I'm also pleased to have two ACS Fellows on the call with us today who will talk about ACS, how ACS has enhanced their surgical careers. First is Dr. Ana Carrasquilla, who is an International Fellow and also Vice President of the ACS Costa Rica chapter. And also Dr. Michael Sutherland, who will discuss his membership journey as a domestic fellow and now as the director of the ACS Member Services Division. So without further ado, I'd like to get started by turning it over to Corey to begin our webinar to talk about the different membership levels.
Thank you, Brian. Just going to share my screen. Okay, so I'm going to talk about the benefits of non-fellow membership. So I'm going to start with Associate Fellow. That is our early career category for surgeons who have completed their training. It's a time-limited category. It's intended for members to be associates for up to 6 years in order to encourage the progression of membership to the fellow level. The application requires a current unrestricted license to practice and a current hospital appointment, but does not require board certification. And as a benefit of being a dues current member, if you apply while you're current and you're transitioning to the next level of membership, you get to apply for free. So some of the benefits of Associate Fellow membership are with more than 84,000 members and more than 100 chapters around the world, there are myriad opportunities for networking and collaborating with your peers. There's discounts on meeting and course registrations. There is access to the Journal of the American College of Surgeons. Being a member makes you eligible for scholarships and fellowships. It provides access to a wide variety of informational resources, educational resources, and tools that will allow you to track your CME or track your cases. There are also a lot of opportunities for e-learning through webcasts, through video-based education, our video library, and a wide variety of webinars. There's also opportunities to participate on governance bodies and committees. And then Associate Fellows are also included in the Find a Surgeon database, which allows patients to find the right surgeon for them. So if you're interested in Associate Fellowship, the next step is to visit our website and view the requirements for membership. And the application is online. If you have questions about the application process, about membership as a non-fellow, there are several staff members, including myself, listed with our email addresses. And there is a toll-free phone line that is staffed during regular business hours. And just a note about the other categories, if you work with residents, we do have a resident membership category. That's our category for trainees. It introduces surgical trainees to the American College of Surgeons and to the wider world of the surgery profession. There's a medical student category for currently enrolled students that if they know that they want to be surgeons or they are still deciding what they want to specialize in, that gives them an opportunity to be exposed to what the college has to offer. And then there's the affiliate category, which is for non-surgeon clinicians as well as administrators to be able to have access to some of the resources that the college offers, and also provides them with a connection to a wide variety of surgeons as well. Thank you very much. I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Good morning, everyone. I am Karen Freeman, the manager of our credentials, our fellowship, and I'm going to share my screen with you also so we can talk a little bit about the benefits of ACS Fellowship. Now, there are over 65,000 fellows of the American College of Surgeons all over the world. And of course, they represent all of the specialties. And we know that having the FACS fellowship after your name means that you have had the education and training and your professional qualifications and have been through a consistent, rigorous evaluation of your qualifications. The FACS designation is full membership with access to all benefits, plus having the opportunity to hold key leadership positions within the college. Some of the benefits that are a little different than benefits from other members that Corey just spoke of is that FACS designation. It means a lot. If you're a surgeon educator, you can apply for membership in the Academy of Master Surgeons. And for our fellows, 45 and younger, they can participate in the Young Fellow Association. There are also opportunities for engagement, e-learning opportunities at clinical congress, and scholarship opportunities. And of course, ACS will support you throughout your career from the beginning, even through the advancement of your careers. I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just to talk about the fellowship requirements. US and Canada and international are a little different. If you're in the US, of course, you have to be certified by American Surgical Board. You have to be 1 year in independent practice, have a full unrestricted license to practice in your respective state, have a current hospital appointment, and of course, give us 3 names of fellows for references. And one of the 3 must be your chief. And of course, being in your location, 12 consecutive months of practice. International is just a little different. The board certification from your country of origin. You may be from the UK and you practice in Saudi Arabia. Well, you have to be board certified from your country, the UK, but you will have to have a full unrestricted license to practice in Saudi Arabia. And we also look at, you have 3 years of independent practice, have to have a current hospital appointment, the name of 3 ACS fellows for reference, and of course, again, 12 consecutive months of practice in 1 location. We have key application deadlines that are crucial to us getting, our applicants from the application stage to the stage of becoming a fellow. December 1 is our typical deadline. And after that, once we get all the information in, I will say that we get 50 to 60% of our applications at the deadline. So it takes us, a while to process them all, get them completed so that we can get your information to the interview teams or a committee on applicants. Once they get the information, once they receive the information at the end of February, they begin the interview process from March through May. And hopefully we get all the reports back by the end of May so that we can continue with the process. You could become an initiate, and then you will be able to become a fellow in October at the clinical congress. This year, well, the last 2 years, some of you may have heard, we talked about the rolling initiates, and with that, it meant that rather than having 1 application deadline, in 2022, we instituted 3 application deadlines. So from December 1 was the first one, and then we added another deadline for the applications that went from December 2 to March 31st. We had the first interview cycle was March through April. The second interview cycle was May through June. And then June through August, we received the interview reports. I highlighted that because that became the crucial time in which we needed to have the reports in order to move forward and for all of our applicants who were approved to become fellows. September, this month, we're going to send surveys to all of our interviewers and our fellows who went through the process. In October, we will probably have a final report on how this rolling initiatives project pilot worked. So are you ready to become a fellow of ACS? Well, you can join, you can apply by going to our website, acs.org, review the requirements, and then apply online. Of course, these are credential analysts who will be working with each of you and their information. So feel free to contact me. Also, if you have any questions, we're here to help you through the process.
Thank you, Karen, and thank you, Corey, as well. As I mentioned, if you have any questions or comments, please send those through the Q&A function at the bottom of the screen. We will take questions at the end. One did come in. I do want to ask now since it's appropriate after your talk, Karen. The question is, are interviews part of the application process for international applicants?
Yes, they are. Our international applicants also interview. Their interview with either their chapter leaders or their interview with our IRC team.
Great, thank you. And again, keep those questions coming in. If we run out of time, we'll make sure to address all the questions after we are done, after the webinar is finished. But at this time, I do want to introduce Dr. Carrasquilla. Again, she's the Vice President of the new Costa Rica chapter and International Fellow. So Dr. Carrasquilla, I'd like to turn it over to you.
Okay, good morning to all of you. I'm going to talk to you like in living the process that Corey and Karen mentioned and why it was important for me to become an ACS member. Here in Costa Rica, we have a lot of members and we are starting our new chapter. And I always heard like the honor and the values and the education opportunities of being a member. And, you know, we all have like our, the process is very, it take a long time. But I spoke with a colleague and he told me you should start and you will see it will take time, but it will really benefits for you. So I think I was like the second applicant from Costa Rica that has to participate in the interviews. That's a very interesting and a way to feel near and interact with members of ACS and talk about your practice and why it's important for you to become an ACS member. So it's a very nice way to feel near all the process with an interview, talking with a fellow of in the United States. So it was a part for the person that was asking to about the interview. And about the benefits we have, it's as Karen, I think was Karen, having your AVC after your name, it's a big deal in sense of the value comes behind those initials, because it means you pursue education, you have high values of ethics and about working in your practice, either is private or government practice here in Costa Rica. So you have honor, values, education behind being a member of the ACS. And also you have like the high bar to pursue for education and for all the other members, either they are ACS members in your country or not. So here with our beginning of our chapter, our goal is right now to enhance education for the residents, and we're going to start a program for education every other week for the residents. So that's part of being a member of ACS. You want to be better. You want to be better, and you want to be better in your practice. I don't know if you have any questions about this journey, and I also encourage people to become part of the college, because you have also discounts for attending to the meeting, which is a great opportunity to go and be part of a big educational meeting. I think one of the most important of surgery.
Thank you, Dr. Carrasquilla. I know Costa Rica is a new chapter, and you mentioned you're going to start activities hopefully every other week, which would be great. When you talk to your colleagues or those within Costa Rica, what do you say to them as far as why should they get engaged with their local chapter?
Opportunities of education. I think that is one of the most important values, and also to have a very ethic and very honor practice. So I think that's the most important things for asking or encouraging people to become part of our chapter.
Great. Thank you. And again, keep those questions coming in. I do like to turn it over to Dr. Michael Sutherland. As I mentioned in the beginning, he's the new director of the Member Services Division at the American College of Surgeons. And I want him to share some of his thoughts as an ACS Domestic Fellow. Dr. Sutherland?
Thanks, Brian. I really want to welcome everyone to the call. And the fact that you're here today shows an interest in something that I and many others around the country, over 84,000 people around the world, value as part of their surgical practice, and that's membership in the American College of Surgeons. I think Dr. Carrasquilla said it very well, is the college stands for education, excellence, the honorable practice of surgery, and putting our patients first. And if we are valuing those principles, then the college is the organization that stands behind those and gives you a platform to express those desires that you may have to act on those principles. I joined the college as a medical student / resident, and have progressed through all of the opportunities and up through fellowship that the college offers. And the amazing thing about the American College of Surgeons is it is a very inclusive organization and looks for its members to contribute to the success of the college. We have many areas that are relevant to surgeons in practice, and those include quality and patient outcomes. Trauma is an example of that. Our Commission on Cancer, our new initiatives in quality are surrounding the Red Book and NSQIP protocols and NSQIP activities, as well as the educational opportunities that exist, whether it be through our in-person meetings such as Clinical Congress coming up in October 16th in San Diego, or our other meetings such as the Quality and Patient Safety Conference, which was held here in Chicago in July, or our regional meetings that deal with specific areas such as trauma, Commission on Cancer, and other things. In addition to what we offer as a national organization, the chapters really are the lifeblood of the college, and it gives everyone in the American College of Surgeons an opportunity to engage at the local level and be participating with people that they work with day in and day out, or who they may not work with but are located nearby, to develop friendships and fellowship among similar specialty type people that are all engaged and support the principles of the college, including excellence, ethical behavior, and ongoing educational activities, so that we can be the best, deliver the best care for our patients. So There are a lot of really great opportunities in the college to become involved, and that's open to both domestic and Canada fellows, as well as our international fellows. We have committees that focus on relationships with the different interest groups, everything from women in surgery to diversity, equity, and inclusion to regional chapter organizations and the others that I mentioned, such as education and quality outcomes, trauma, cancer, et cetera. There's plenty of opportunities for people to share their insight, share their wisdom, and really help contribute to what makes the American College of Surgeons great, which is our fellows and our members throughout the world who are there in the community delivering care on a daily basis and exemplifying the highest standards of practice that the college represents. I'd be happy to answer any questions that you have regarding the process, but Karen and Corey have already shared with you the details of what that looks like. We stand ready to receive your applications and encourage you to reach out to others who weren't able to join us here today and encourage them to apply as well. We want to be inclusive around the world and offer products and meetings and promotional opportunities for people, regardless of where they practice, is in an attempt to enhance the presence of the American College of Surgeons and the values that we uphold. So thank you very much for having me today. And I'll be on the call through the end in order to make sure that any and all questions are answered.
Thank you, Dr. Sutherland. We do have some questions that are coming in. One, Corey, if I could maybe address this towards you. When someone becomes a member, could you talk a little bit about like what they have to do each year in terms of do they have to join each year, and as far as the dues process? Maybe not the specific amounts, but just like what does it take once I become a member?
So there is an annual renewal. The only category where there is not an annual renewal is for medical students. For medical students, once they join, they are members until they graduate from medical school. For the residents, the associate fellows, and the affiliate members, there are annual dues, varying amounts that have to be paid in order to keep the membership current.
Thanks, Corey.
And I would emphasize that that's all there really is to it. That's the minimum. You can just set it to where you pay the dues every year and you continue to put FACS behind your name and hold yourself out and take advantage of the resources that we have to offer. But there's also opportunities to get involved, like Dr. Carrasquilla has in Costa Rica, and become an officer in your chapter or a leader in your chapter. There's opportunities at the national level that I mentioned. So you can make as much of this as you wish, or you can simply be a consumer in the college, and we're okay with that. We recognize that everybody has their bandwidth that they can contribute, and that's perfectly acceptable, but we want to make it an option for you to become more involved and help shape the path of what we do as the American College of Surgeons.
Another question that came in, I'm an associate fellow of ACS. Is it easier to apply and become an ACS fellow member? And another question is, being an ACS fellow, does that help me pursue a fellowship training in the US, or does that have no bearing at all?
So I can speak to that, and that from the movement from associate fellow to fellow is a natural progression. It's one that we encourage and one that we want to see people take advantage of. One of the great benefits of that is there's no application fee for an associate fellow to apply to be a fellow. So if you've been committed and been involved as an associate fellow, we want to help you make that move forward to full fellowship. So that is definitely a benefit that is available to you, and we encourage you to take advantage of that. To the second part of your question, we don't control the fellowships around the United States, but being a fellow of the American College of Surgeons is something that would demonstrate a commitment to excellence, a commitment to furthering your education, and a commitment to the ideals and the principles of the American College of Surgeons. And it would be a definite differentiator among others applying for fellowship. how that gets weighed by the fellowship interview groups and the ranking that goes through the match, it's hard for us to really give an opinion on that. But I can tell you, as a former faculty member that interviews fellows and things along those lines, it's certainly perceived in a positive light. It is definitely no detraction from for having that on your application.
Another question. I am a nurse, international nurse, non-American affiliate member. What are the benefits for me?
So for affiliate members, there is access to a wide variety of publications, including the Journal of the American College of Surgeons. There's access to the same or similar discounted meeting and course registrations. There are discounts on a variety of products. We have a wide variety of books and other resources that members can get at a discounted rate. And then there is an affiliate member community online that allows affiliate members to talk about, depending on what their profession is, things that are going on within their field. And then there's just the opportunities to network and collaborate with people who are your peers and your colleagues.
And are those courses, are those available on the website? The question is, are the courses for nurses? What are the courses? Is it available on the website?
I'm not sure specifically about courses for nurses. I know a lot of the courses are really geared towards residents and early career surgeons, or even surgeons who have been practicing for a long time. So at this moment, I can't speak to what is specifically for nurses. I would have to look into that.
You know, we do have several things that are out there that are really more driven toward nurses that are participating in specific activities that are programs of the college. For example, our quality and patient safety conference, which focuses around all of the verification products of the American colleges. So that's the bariatric program, the breast program, the pediatric programs, the NSQIP programs, the quality verification programs, et cetera. So many members will, in the affiliate group, will be nurses or others that work in those areas, and it gives them a markedly discounted opportunity to attend the meetings or to access those meetings streaming content that occurs after the fact, so that you can catch up on the best practices that are being promulgated at those meetings, so that you're up to date. We do have the similar type of arrangement at Clinical Congress that allows you to either attend in person for a markedly discounted rate or participate online through the streaming platform. And we also have numerous affinity products, such as insurance, whether it's malpractice, we do have malpractice insurance as well, but we also have disability insurance products and life insurance products, as well as some other affinity type of programs that are either available now or coming in the near future that would offer you the opportunity to take advantage of those, which would not be available to you otherwise. So it's an opportunity. The affiliate program is really geared toward nurses who work very closely with surgeons who are working inside of programs that the American College of Surgeons sponsors to get you access to those areas.
Hey, Karen, one last question for you. Do you have any tips or suggestions for surgeons who are getting ready or maybe thinking about completing the fellowship application process? For example, things that they should make sure to do when they're filling out their application.
Absolutely, Brian. I think that they should line up their fellow references now before they put in the application. Let them know that it's coming. We ask that you send in a current CV, so update your CV. And we also ask that you just send 3 documents. It's your current license, where you practice, your certification information, and of course your CV. So have those ready when you apply, and it'll be less back and forth churn, if you will, when putting in your application information.
And for domestic fellows, start putting together those case lists. Get it together in a CPT format to say you did, gallbladder and how many of them you did. You don't have to list anything more specific than that. We just want to see what the mix of cases that you're doing as a domestic US fellow look like. So that's a stumbling block for some people. It involves dealing with your hospital to get that information pulled and collated. We encourage you to go ahead and start working on that as well.
Also, Dr. Sutherland, we have the registry, the SSR.
Yes.
If you start putting your cases in there, they're tracking for you and you can export them.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
We've come to the end of the scheduled time for the webinar. I'm going to stop the recording shortly, but we're happy to remain on for another 10 minutes or so to answer any remaining questions that people may have. I do want to thank Corey, Karen, Dr. Carrasquilla, and Dr. Sutherland for participating on our panel today. I especially want to thank all of you for listening in on this webinar. We hope it was informative, and if you're not currently an ACS member, we do encourage you to consider joining the college. Recording of this webinar will be sent to all registrants. We had almost 200 people register for this event, so we know not everybody can join us the day of. So we'll definitely share that with them, but I encourage you also to share it with your colleagues. It'll also be on the ACS YouTube channel in the coming days. So thank you again for everyone for joining, and we'll say goodbye for now, but please continue to send in your questions.
Please send any messages, any questions that you have to the emails that Karen had in her slide. We are more than happy to reach out and work with you in order to help this process be as seamless and painless as possible. It's designed to be easy. If you're having trouble, let us know. We want to fix that. We want to make it easy for you to become a member.
And Tony, were there any questions that we missed from the Q&A or the chat?
No, looks like we've answered most of them. I'm actually answering one right now, and then that's it. There was, I think Karen has already responded to that person. There was one asking about the difference between an associate fellow transition and international fellow transition.
Okay, great. So I'm going to stop the recording. If you have questions, keep them coming in, and we'll be on for another 10 minutes or so. But thank you again, everyone.